I believe we are live and ready to rock and roll. Let's see.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Let's see. We got Facebook in the house. And to our right, we got Instagram.
What's up,
going on,
Instagram?
peeps? How you doing?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So, who do we have on? As you're jumping on, say hello. And
Yeah.
happy Monday, everyone.
Yeah, tonight we're doing something a little bit different for Facebook. You all know that we're here live with you every single Monday night, giving you guys a ton of value, right? And we thought, well, we're already doing it for you guys. We need to do the same thing for our Instagram fans. So if you guys are on Instagram right now, say hey, let us know you guys are watching live. I see you all jumping on. So good to see you guys.
Awesome. So every single Monday, you'll find us here inside of the Business Growth Secrets for Dietitians and Nutrition Coaches. And we come at you live with the latest and greatest in business growth, marketing, sales, all of it. Okay. So for those of you who don't know who we are, my name is Javier Carlin, and this is Marissa Case. And together we are the co-founders of Healthcare Business University. And today we have a very, very important topic for you. Okay. Now, before we dive in, as you are jumping on, let us know if you are team live. Go ahead and hashtag live in the comment section. If you are team replay, go ahead and put replay. And what that allows you to do is actually help others who are in this community and on Instagram to actually see that there is value here and that they don't want to miss it. Okay, so by commenting that, you're actually helping more people learn this information as well. So let us know if you are live or on the replay. And for those of you on IG, we're actually going to be showing and going through a document here, breaking down the number one concept that will make you six figures this year. So if you're on IG and you want to see the document, go ahead and hop into our Facebook group, Business Growth Secrets for Dietitians and Nutrition Coaches, to get in on all the action. All right. So I want you to imagine a life where you are making six figures. Okay. You're making six figures a year, working less hours, and actually making a difference. How awesome would that be? Now, the hard truth is that only a tiny percentage, okay, a very small percentage of dietitians and nutrition coaches will actually ever get there. You will not believe the number of people out there who have, been doing this thing for a few months, a few years. They think they've got it down. They think they know everything. And, we talk to them and it's a Frankenstein business. Okay. And that's kind of what happens when you don't have these three buckets of organic marketing filled first. Okay. So we're going to actually break down what these three buckets are and actually give you some tangible tactics and tools to fill those buckets. Okay. Because the ones who don't make it and are out of business within a few years, or if they're not out of business, they're not making any money, okay, have a leak in at least one of the three buckets. So if you're ready to hear what these buckets are, go ahead and give me the number 3 in the comments down below. Okay? Let's do it. So when these three buckets are filled, it can give you the freedom that you desire. But like I mentioned, when even one is leaking, it can cause frustration, burnout, and resentment in your own business. And you don't want that. Okay? You don't want that, right? So the key is to identify at all times which one of these is leaking. And guess what? You got it. You want to focus on that one. Okay. You want to stop it from leaking. So with that said, I'm going to share my screen. And while I do that, did you want to tell everyone to invite their friends? And
yes, absolutely. So if you guys know any other dietitians, nutrition coaches that would benefit from the information inside this group, we do trainings every single Monday night. Feel free to invite them to the party. We would love to have them.
Beautiful. So we have Kat in the house. We have Dean in the house. We got Heidi, Irina, Heidi. Great to see you. We got Leah Decker jumping on live. Beautiful. And for those of you over here who are live with us, drop your name, because all I see right now are a bunch of usernames. I do see Omar though. Omar in the house.
What's up, Omar?
What's up, Omar? How you doing, my friend? Beautiful, beautiful. Who's excited? Drop excited in the chat. Let's get it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So you guys want to know what the buckets are?
All right. What are these famous buckets? All
right. So bucket number 1, and as we say the buckets, go ahead and drop them down below, because the more that you write it, the more that it goes into your brain. Okay. We've got to really, really solidify these buckets in our brain so that we know which ones are leaking and that we know which ones we need to fix. So the first bucket is the list. All right. The second bucket, I'm going to run through them real quick and then we'll break it down. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, we got the list. That's bucket number 1. Number 2 is value. And bucket number 3 is money. Put a money in the chat.
Money, money.
Money, money, money. All right.
Awesome. So the list, okay? Go ahead and put list in the chat. All right, write this one down so you don't forget it, okay? So the list is essentially your friends, okay? It's your followers. It's your Facebook group members, depending on what platform you're on, okay? And we're going to dive into why this list is so important in just a second. Now, like Marissa said, the second one is value. Now, value means content that actually moves a stranger to a buyer on those specific lists. Okay, so that's what content is actually supposed to do. It's supposed to provide value in a way that gets people to know, like, and trust you, and to realize that you have the solution to their problems. And that's what the content is for. And if you have a leak there, you're not going to gain any clients. And then obviously, if you don't have clients, you don't have a business. So there you go. And the third one, money, essentially comes down to having a sales problem. Okay, so as we go through this, I want you to self-identify from a scale of 1 to 10 with the list, the value, and the money. Okay, where do you fall right now? All right, so I'll let you know when. And remember, okay, at least one of your buckets is leaking at all times, and your job as the business owner, the person who takes ownership of their business, is to figure out, okay, which one is leaking and how can I make sure it's not. And a lot of the times when you're so close to something, right, you can't really see it. So sometimes you need an outside perspective to help you easily identify what the leaky bucket is. Okay.
All right. So let's go over the list. How do you know if you have a list problem? Well, a couple ways to identify that. So number 1 is you don't have your ideal clients on your personal profile or in your Facebook groups or following you on Instagram, right? So what could this look like? This could look like a low number of followers, a low number of members, a low number of friends, and potentially, if you have low members, low followers, you're going to get low engagement. Now, speaking to Facebook in particular, you guys can have up to 5,000 friends on your friends list. Did you guys know that? Drop a 5,000 down below. Okay, you guys can have 5,000 friends. Now, yes, some of those are going to be your friends, from elementary school, middle school, high school, your family, things like that, right? But you don't have 5,000 of them, maybe a couple hundred, right? But you guys have the potential to have 5,000 friends. So what does that mean? You have the potential to have thousands of your ideal clients looking at your content all the time.
Now, I know what many of you might be thinking. Well, Javi, Marissa, on Instagram, maybe it's fine. But on Facebook, like, my friends are my friends, right? And I don't want to, how many of you have thought about that, right? I don't want to kind of mix the two worlds together, my business, my friends list, etc. Now, I want you to think about a few things, okay? Well, number 1, there are some strategies that you can actually implement where you only show certain types of posts, etc., to ideal clients, okay? Now, number 2, what I want to ask you is, do you care more about what your friends and family might think about you posting and helping people, right, than actually helping the people themselves? Because if you have the ability to have 5,000 people, 5,000 friends, okay, and you provide value in the way that we're going to show you today, and people are actually dealing with big problems, big challenges in their lives, diabetes, right? Maybe they're
Hypertension,
hypertension,
kidney disease,
right? A lack of self-confidence, self-esteem, all these things. And you have the solution. And one way to help them is by doing what we're teaching you here, and you don't because you're more concerned about what your friends and family think. That's an issue. Can you see how that doesn't really compute, right? Do you care more about what people think about you and what you're doing, or do you actually care about the people that you're serving? Because one is selfish, one is selfless. Is that okay if I'm a little truthful with you guys here? Yes? Okay. So the other thing is, do you care more? And plus, they're your friends and family, so they should actually support you. It's the opposite, right? They should support you for sure, right? So the second part is that fear or that insecurity more important, right, than you being able to actually help people, like I mentioned, but also get your business to six figures, and not just six figures, but also being able to do that in a lot less time, right? Working with people that you actually love working with. What's the bigger reward here, right? So I'll let you sit on that because I think it's important to think about that and decide, okay, well, if this does work, which it does, and this is the path to get there, which it is, then what do I have to do? And you have the answer to that. Okay, only you have the answer. Cool. So the next question is, how do I actually patch and fill my list bucket? Cool. It's like, Javi, Marissa, I know I need to get this list down. And again, what does the list look like? Emails, friends, followers, etc. Okay. And the reason we love social media is because it's a living, breathing email list. It's a living, breathing website, right? Where you actually know what people are interested in. You actually know what people want, right? There's likes, there's comments, there's engagement, there's conversation. Mm-hmm. On a website, people go to it. You have no idea who they are. You have no idea what they look like. You have no idea who even showed up, who engaged with anything or anyone, right? You don't have that. Here you do. Big difference. You get immediate response. Okay. Is this making sense so far? Yes. Put a big yes in the chat if it's making sense.
Yes.
Cool.
All right. So who wants to learn how to patch, not only patch, but fill their list, right? So patch the bucket and then fill their bucket with a lot of people. Yes. Now,
I would love to know, before Marissa dives into that, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1, my list is filled with my ideal clients. 1 is I actually don't. Okay, I don't have a list. I have like 5 people in my group. I have like 100 people on my email list. I have 1,000 friends, but none of them are my ideal clients. That's a 1. And a 10 is like, I've got 5,000 friends. They're all my ideal clients. On Instagram, I have like 5,000 followers. They're all my ideal clients. On my email list, I have at least 1,000 emails, and every single one of them is my ideal clients. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you fall? Go ahead and put a number in the chat. Scale of 1 to 10. 1, basically no list. 10, the most complete list of all time, and I'm making multiple six figures a month. A month. Yes, I said a month. Okay.
It's totally possible.
Yeah, 100%. Put a number down.
Okay. All right. So here are 4 strategies that you can use to patch and fill your list bucket. So number 1 is by providing value in other Facebook groups, right? This could be the same thing for Instagram, providing value on other people's Instagrams. Go in, provide value, answer questions, okay? Remember, no sales here, not salesy, just provide value, all right? Next, once you provide value, you can add these people as friends. And what's going to happen is they're going to now get on your profile, right? So then you can continue to follow up with them. They're going to continue to watch your content. They're going to continue to watch your live streams and engage with your content. Number 3, you can also send messages to these people. Once they're friends with you on your Instagram, once they're friends with you on Facebook, right? You could send message to them, strike up a conversation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then number 4 is interviews. We love interviews for filling this bucket. 2 ways you can do these interviews. Number 1 is you could get interviewed, right? And you can give away a freebie, you can give away a resource, and you can even offer for people to join your Facebook group. So that's one way. And then the other way is that you could get interviewed by someone that has a list or has your ideal clients, and you can get them to promote that you are doing that interview. So they're going to promote you to their list.
Awesome. Awesome. So here's why this is so important. Okay. For those of you that want to launch a group program or launch a course or launch your one-to-one, right? Launch whatever it is that you have. If you launch something, if you launch anything, no matter how great it is, no matter how perfect it is, no matter, how much time you spent creating the videos, no matter if you hired a professional videographer and a professional video editor to do it all for you, but you launch it and there's no one that actually either sees it or no one that sees it that actually needs it because they're not your ideal customer and they don't really need what you have to offer in the way that they think, then guess what? You spent all that time, energy, and money for nothing because there's no list. There's no audience. There's no one to buy it. Okay. Can you see how that's so important? So before you provide any value, the list must be there. Okay. You have to be able to understand this and implement it. Okay. Is this making sense so far? Give me a big yes. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. So what's next?
All right. So the next bucket is the value bucket. So how do you know if you have a value problem, right? Well, this could be when people aren't engaging with your content. They're not, buying from you. If you put like an offer up, they're not like clicking on the links. And essentially, really what's happening is that you get crickets, right? No one is engaging with your content.
Yeah. So no one is engaging with your content. Okay. And a big piece of, so this is, if that's happened to you, okay, in the past, and you've had either crickets or no one's engaged with your content, the reason is what we're about to share with you. And the other reason is that many people, okay, that maybe have taken other coaching programs, or they've done some of the work, but didn't really decide, who they wanted to work with. They didn't really niche down all the way. They haven't really worked on their messaging. They haven't really done a lot of the strategies that we teach, right? What ends up happening is they think they've done all this work and they're putting this messaging out there. They're putting their content out there and no one resonates with it, right? No one is feeling the content. And therefore, they don't feel like they know, like, and trust you, and or they don't feel like they have a problem, or that they even, because they don't. There's obviously if they don't know that they have a problem, then they don't really care for a solution because they don't know they have a problem. So we have to be able to make sure that they're aware of their problem, that they're aware that there's solutions out there, and that they're aware that there are solutions that you have. Okay. Now, most people are trying to make people aware that they have a solution. But the people don't even know that they have a problem to begin with. So can you see how that's a problem in itself, right? Completely. So these are a couple of things to think about because many people think that the niche might not be as important as people say. And it is. It's super important, right? And there's different phases to it. You can have a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 niche. And each and every time it gets better and better and more refined. Okay, so some of you might be tuning out right now and be like, oh, well, mine is fine. Well, if you're not getting engagement and if you're getting crickets and you're not getting people buying, then I'm sorry to tell you, but it's actually not fine. Okay, it's not fine. And, almost a year and a half, right, into a new business, we just a few weeks ago continued to refine our audience, our customer research, our surveys, all of it. It's a never-ending thing. Okay, the more you do that, the better your business gets. So remember that. Keep that in mind. Okay, you're never quite there. So how do I pitch and fill my value bucket? It starts with strategic posting. Okay, strategic posting. On Facebook, there's about 11 different types of posts that you can make. Okay, inside of our challenges and the content that we produce and all of that, right? We've gone over about 5 to 6 of them, right? For Instagram, there are other types of posts as well. So by strategic posting and not just knowing the types of posts, but knowing when to post them, how frequently to post them, what the purpose of the actual content is, right? We've got belief shifting, inspiring, education, entertaining, different types, right? You have to have intention behind them to make sure that they land, to make sure that they what? They land. Okay. If not, it's all for nothing. So again, we teach the types of posts in our conversion profile engine and Facebook group engine modules in our Freedom Sprint program. So we dive deep into these, but just know, okay, that this is the purpose of content. Is this valuable so far? Go ahead and put valuable in the chat if this is so far helping you to kind of see, okay, well, if I'm not getting engagement, I'm getting crickets, and people aren't really liking, commenting on my post, then I probably have a value problem. Okay, cool. What's the next one?
All right. So the third bucket that could potentially have a leak could be costing you hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in your business, literally, is sales. Give me a sales in the chat.
Sales.
Sales, 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 sales. Sales is the lifeblood of your business. Like, let's face it, without sales, there is no business. True?
True.
True?
True, true.
Okay. So how do you guys know if you have a money problem in your business? Well, simple. Look at your bank account. You lack cash, right? So really, that's what it is. And you cannot sustainably fix your money problems unless you patch the other two buckets that we just talked about first.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have the list, you have to have the people to sell to, and you have to provide value. Because without that, without either one of those, without both of them, you will not get sales in your business.
100%. Yes. So how many of you feel like you need more sales? And after going through this so far, and we have a couple more points to help you through, after going so far, can you start to see why that might be the case? Where do you feel so far like you have a leak in your bucket? Is it the list? Is it the value? Is it the money? Is it a combination? Is it the list, value, and money? Is it the list and value? Is it the money and the value and the money and the value? What is it for you? Where are your leaks right now? Go ahead and put them in the chat. If just being honest here, like we've had leaks in these as well, but we are aware of them and we fill them. Okay. So you have to be okay with where you're at and identify where you're at in order to get to where you want to go. So how do I patch, right? The next question is, how do I patch and fill my money bucket? How do I patch and fill my money bucket? Okay. The first thing you do is you patch and fill the previous buckets, the list and the value. Because like Marissa said, right, if you try and sell things, but there's no one there, no one's going to buy. Is that clear? Pretty clear, right?
I think so.
Okay. Now, if there are people there, but there has been no value provided to them, and they feel like, well, this person is not consistent. They haven't provided me with value that I care about, right? And it's just not there. Are they going to buy from someone that has not provided value? Of course not, right? We all know the answer to that. Of course not. So can you see how those two are a prerequisite to this piece right here? Yes?
Yes.
Cool. So first patch those first, then you can use our strategic posting formulas to call out your dream customer. And recently we did a Facebook group launch challenge, okay, that we still have up for some crazy reason. So if you want to learn what these are, I highly recommend you go through those before we decide, hey, you know what? It's been too long. Let's just take them down. Okay. So those are in the guides 1 through 5. Go through them in order. They're done like that on purpose. So do that. And then have conversations. So number 2 is have conversations with those who engage in your content. Okay. Especially in the beginning. If you're new, if you don't have a lot of testimonials, results, if you don't have a big audience, if you're just getting traction, you can never expect to either send someone a link or post a link somewhere and have someone invest without you actually building a relationship with them first. Show you care. That's all it is. Okay. So have conversations with those who engage in your content. Then get them on a call and make them an offer. Tell them about, how their problem, right, actually can be solved with your solution. There's a process for that, obviously. We don't have enough time to go in through all of it right now, right? But when you get someone a call, you're able to present in a strategic way how you might be able to help them. And if they're like, yeah, that sounds like exactly what I need, they say yes, they move forward, and boom, you patch your money bucket. Okay. So the way you do that successfully is by improving your authentic sales skills. Okay. Your authentic sales skills. So those are the 3 buckets. And if you have been in business and you have not hit the 6-figure mark yet, I really feel like you should take a hard look and start thinking about, is my business too complicated? Is my business a Frankenstein business? Do I have all these different pieces that I've learned from all these different people, all these different YouTube videos, all these different PDFs and resources and all these things? And why am I putting so much time and energy into this and it's not moving me forward? But if you haven't taken a look at the simplicity of what we just broke down for you, right? The list, the value, the money, can you see how if this is not taken care of and you're not aware of this, you'll never get there. And guess what? We want you to get there more than you probably. So we want you to get there. So can you see how understanding this at its core, at its foundation, is going to be the key to getting you to 6 figures and beyond this year? Can you guys see that? I see that, Javi and Marissa. If you can see that, put that in the chat. I see that. Now, for those of you that are like, okay, I get it, right? List, value, money, that makes sense. How do I actually take this a step further? How do I actually put this into practice? And maybe at this point in time, if you're newer to business, you're like, I don't even know which one is leaking. And you need someone to kind of look at it from a different angle, a different perspective, right? To tell you, hey, this is actually where the leak is. And to show you how to actually fill it, right? And what those next steps are to get you to that next level in your business. Well, what you're going to want to do is comment the word game plan. Okay, comment the word game plan. When you comment the word game plan and you do that now, all that's going to happen is we're going to actually reach out to you, learn a little bit more about you and where you're at. And if it's something that we might be able to help you with, you'll actually get on a 15-minute call with either Marissa, myself, or one of our team members to talk you through and ask you a few more questions about your business and where you're at, to point you to the best resources. Some of those resources might be in this group, but instead of you having to filter through them and search for hours and hours and hours on end, we'll just send them to you. Okay, we have hundreds of trainings and videos that we've done.
2-3 years worth.
Literally. So we want to speed that up. Now, if you feel like, hey, that sounds great, and we feel like, hey, we can actually help you and get there faster, and you want to hear about what some of those options might look like to work together in the future, right? And not just have the tools and the resources, but actually have the support, the accountability, and the guidance, we'll tell you, okay? And from there, we can dive on a second call, deep dive into what a specific personalized solution would look like specifically for you and your business, because everyone's a little bit different, okay? And then from there, you know, if we can work together, great. If it doesn't make sense for either of us, that's great too, okay? So for you, the next step is to really get help in implementing what we broke down today, is to comment the word game plan. That's all you have to do. Again, we'll jump on a call, 15 minutes. There's nothing to buy, okay? There's nothing to buy on that call, even if you wanted to. So totally fine. So comment that. We'll get on that call and we'll see how we can best serve you. All righty. So with that said, I think that's it for tonight. Go ahead, type the word game plan, and let us know before we jump off. What was your number one takeaway? Your number one takeaway from tonight's training? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Let everyone else know what your number one takeaway was and why they should watch this training. All righty?
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Take care, everyone. Good night.
See you later.